I'm going to talk about this front desk process. We're almost 10 weeks into this thing, and a lot of people are reopening. A lot of people are starting to slide back into this, okay, just get back to it world. And the only change I see them making is they're cleaning things, which is very wise of you, which is very wise to share, which is very smart of you to manage that fear, doubt, and uncertainty for your clients. Yet it's got to go deeper than that. So if you're coming back into the mix here after 10 weeks, and I'm going to try to look up there, but I notice my eyes are everywhere on these. If the last 10 weeks has been about survival, keeping your head above water, just long enough now to start to ramp back up to open the clinic, and all you've done is survival mode and not spent some of that time, energy, and possibly money on looking at things that needed to change structural wise, systems wise. I don't mean products, I don't mean services, maybe services. Yet, even if you incorporated services, it's not the service you needed to worry about. It's the structure around how am I going to bring this forward to my current customers? Why will people choose me? One of the biggest questions every practice owner across the country needs to be asking them is, and I posted this last week, why will someone choose me? Why will they arrive? Because those same people who used to arrive before, not all of them are going to arrive again. And of those people who won't arrive now, they're going to be looking for other clinics, which is good and bad news for you. It's good news for you if you've done the work to really make sure people understand why they should choose you. Why should they choose you? Everybody has telehealth. Everybody has a pool. By the way, everybody has a video of their team cleaning the gym. So why should people choose you? That's really what today is about, is controlling that front desk process. Because sharing with people, again, adding in the conversation around how we're following CDC guidelines is not going to be enough. That's not why people are going to choose you. That's just going to be one of the small check boxes. So having this front desk process, which is are you ready for it? Sales system. I'm going there. Decided about 2 weeks ago to go there. I started rereading, there's 3 or 4 old sales books I have, old meaning books I've owned, that I read, and they're really lower level core based selling books. And every time I open them up, they have an empathetic process for managing a potential client or customer through their customer's life cycle better than anybody I've ever seen. So if you don't want to do sales, then just replace that with the process, the system. Yeah, I'm here to tell you the salespeople have down the sales process and understand a client's experience in their business better than anybody. And they understand the one I'm currently reading, and he talks frequently about connecting with other teams within other team members within the business. We're going to stick with it, and I'm going to give credit where credit's due, which is the salespeople and the sales systems and the salespeople out there writing great sales books that are actually great books on how to connect and be empathetic with your clients. That's what healthcare always claims to do, but of course, nobody from sales could help them. Now, those days are gone. Good morning, Jared. So we're just going to talk about this sales process at your front desk and what needs to happen to make sure that people know why they should choose you. Every great front desk person understands the practice, the business. Every great front desk person is caring. Every great front desk person is consistent in the way they manage the first phone call. Every great front desk person is excellent at listening. Every great salesperson, I swear to God, I keep wanting to go salesperson. Every great front desk person understands it's about you, not me. That's huge, right? And so that is the components, the parts of the process of the front desk sales system that must be managed and followed. So if you take all those things, caring, consistent, you versus me, it's about listening. You could build out, right? the systems and the structure for your sales process. By the way, I know a guy who's done that, right? My front desk success training program is 12 weeks long. And throughout every week, I should say 12 lessons long. Because the last 4 to 5 weeks we actually go and put 2 weeks in between the classes. Every single lesson has components of those things I just mentioned that I brought forward from the sales world that go into a successful front desk program. A great salesperson, your front desk, understands that the person on the other end of the phone needs more information, right? Needs to understand why your service, your product, your business should be the one they do business with. Your front desk person understands that they are part of a process of setting further salespeople, here we go, your providers, up for success. So your front desk person is not the end all be all, yet they are the ginormous first step. And without that first step, you will have a more difficult time throughout the rest of your sales process. This is what cracks me up about providers and new business owners who say, I just got to get these people in front of me. I'm like, you're doing way more work than you have to. No, once they get in front of me, right, they buy into a plan of care. I love how we can say buy into a plan of care, but we're not selling anything, right? But I agree with that, right? Because the objective of the provider in phase 3 of the patient life cycle, first step, is to get buy-in on the plan of care. By the way, that buy-in on plan of care is a sales process that was started by whom? Your front desk person, your key employee, your key salesperson. A great front desk person listens, and they understand the fear, doubts, and uncertainties of your potential patient. And we started out with that. And they understand by asking more questions, they can better serve that person. Better questions is always been a theme of my front desk success training program. This is not a sell for the front desk success training program, just letting you know that it's been woven in there and worked for cash-based clinics and network clinics, out-of-network clinics. And I'm going to be honest, the in-network clinics have benefited the most from the front desk training. The front desk people that aren't asked to do this are set up for failure, right? They're the ones who get yelled at all the time for not managing cancels, for not getting people scheduled. But if we expand that out a little bit and put those objectives together, like I just said, then we can show the front desk person their role in patient success. And so this is what's interesting. Every great sales team has goals, has objectives to meet. And the front desk is thrown just a pile of stuff, tasks to complete, answer the phone, everything else. And the goals and objectives don't reflect what the business owner is going to come back about, right? I need more new patients. I need more people scheduled, right? But yet all these tasks over here are laid out as just as important, because you're yelling at me for not getting them done when I'm trying to manage getting a new customer that's worth $1,000 on the schedule. And when we tell people their goal, the front desk, is to get people scheduled, that means their job stops there. And by the way, they should high five. I got everybody scheduled. Well, yeah, but 30% of them dropped off the schedule. Whose fault is that? What's the provider's fault? Maybe, right? So even telling that front desk person that their job is to get people scheduled sets them up for failure, right? And so controlling the front desk process also means understanding the ultimate goal of the overall sales process, which is a completed plan of care. And you must tie your team, front desk team members, provider team members, billing team members, you must tie them all into this ultimate goal of a completed plan of care. When you do that, you can take a step back and go, okay, what is my front desk responsible for? Well, they're responsible for starting to build a relationship that will last throughout this person's entire life cycle with the company. Wow. That sounds a little deeper, a little different than getting people scheduled. Yeah. And they're also there to be problem solvers, which most of the time means getting people scheduled. But sometimes solving people's problems on the other end of the phone is about not scheduling them, is about getting them to the right place. So it's with those two mindsets that we start to tell the front desk team how important they are to overall completed plan of care, business and patient goals. And we show them how they play a part in patient success, which what trickles down to business success. So it's time, my friends, to start looking at your front desk as the huge asset they are and do the work required so that they can be successful, which means what? The provider's successful, which means what? The patient is successful, which means what? The business is successful. I just got to get people to my provider so they can be successful. You're making, again, you've heard me say this a million times, you're creating more work for that provider. You're creating more work for the patient. Think about that. When you just put people on the schedule and let the provider deal with them, you created more work for that patient. Fear, doubt, and uncertainty exists, less trust. So they're showing up, not quite sure what to expect. Nobody wants a buyer, potential buyer, right? So let's use this example. Nobody wants the potential buyer of a plan of care to have less trust, to have more fear, to have more doubt and more uncertainty. So how do we reduce all that and maximize it so the provider just has to deliver? We started earlier upstream with our key employee, with our key salesperson, with a process we have put in place that understands what the next steps are. So, this is it. This is what is going to take you to get people to buy into if you put telehealth in your practice, right? Whatever you did, it has to become part of the process. So we're cleaning more. That becomes part of the sales process. Can't be the only thing, right? What are you selling now is the next big question. Because again, the better your front desk, the better your team understands what they're selling, the more successful they can be in their role of selling that. And if you want to commoditize your business, then you schedule visits, you schedule time, you schedule services. If you're selling all those, then you commoditize your business and you turn your salespeople into just churn and burn. Because think about this. I brought this up last week. If your front desk job is to get people scheduled and you need to fill 100 slots this month, and they put 100 new patients in those slots, you're like, cool. And I keep going back and forth and saying, wait, but if you average 10 visits a case, you could fill those 100 slots with just 10 of the right people. That right here, where are we? About 16 minutes in? I don't know how long we're in. 16 minutes in? That's the take home here. Yet most practice owners, most practice managers, actually not the practice managers, practice owners will take 100 new patients to fill 100 slots, that 30% of it churn and burn, and we just keep refilling it. I'm like, you want to talk about setting your team up for failure, for burnout, right? So this is where all this goes, by not understanding the team's strengths and the process, the sales process, and who owns what. This is what we're creating. We're creating this churn and burn. I've got a lot of uncertain clients and customers arriving into my practice who drop off after 1, 2, 3 visits. Well, that's a slot that needs to be filled. What happens if that same person came in and scheduled out 5 visits? And then at the end of their third one, they schedule 5 more. Way easier to manage a business, manage people, way easier on your employees to manage that structure than everybody checking out. And I'm here to tell you on May, whatever the hell it is, May 19th, that you are now at a higher risk of drop-offs than you ever were. Because people calling and going to schedule are going to drive up to your clinic and possibly drive away. They're going to show up for the first visit and not reschedule. And your drop-offs will go up. And your first visit arrival rate will go down if you don't manage the process. And so understanding what it is you're selling, who you can serve, what you're selling, and then the life cycle of that person within your business, then the better you can set up your selling process. And then your selling process feeds back to your marketing process, right? Because you take those happy people, right? Because by the way, are you getting word of mouth referrals by 100 new patients filling 100 slots that drop 30% drop off? Nope. But you've got some powerful testimonials from those 10 people who scheduled out 10 visits. My neighbor's dogs, not mine. You got 10 people now more than happy to put glowing reviews out there for you to attract more people just like them. The referrals are an end result. Everybody always asks, how do I get referrals? Word of mouth referrals, I need more. I'm like, you don't know what you're selling. You don't know who your target customer is. Why do you want to just keep trying to get referrals from people when you have a retention problem, when you have a selling problem, right? Nobody has an attraction problem. It's interesting, but they do. Because how appropriate are those leads? And a great front desk person will be able to make sure the right leads get on the schedule. And the people who aren't the right lead, they make sure they get taken care of too. Because they understand the process. They understand what they're selling, who they're selling it to. They're caring, they're consistent. They know it's about you and not me. They follow the structure. They know it's about the patient's voice. They know it's about listening. They know all that. So they actually help you to grow your practice. They actually help the culture of your business to be better. Because it's the drop-offs and it's the scheduling of people that cause the burnout. And it's constant pressure on everybody to get people scheduled. Where's the pressure to complete a plan of care? Right? Which is more pressure on the front end of the system than the middle and back end. All right? Sweet. We're 20 minutes in. This is where we need to be now. The people calling now need to be managed better than you ever managed them. It's going to be more important today than it was March 11th. To manage this first call better and properly. What are you selling? Who's your best client, patient, customer? And then how does that front end sales process connect with the rest of the process? All right, 20 minutes, short and sweet. Yes, this should sound familiar. Yes, Jerry, this is what you always say. Well, no fucking shit. If it was important in non-fucked up pandemic times, it must be really fucking important now if I'm talking about it. The more I reflect back and the more I look at what's been going on since day one of this and what people are doing now and what people are successful and who's coming out of this the strongest and who understands about telehealth or whatever other services and how to present, these different things are the people that are coming out of this stronger. Remember, I started the first Tuesday or first Monday with the Wiser and Stronger community. It was like, look, I get it. You're drowning. We got to throw your life preserver. But damn it, we got to come out of this stronger. There is no more survival at this point. It's time to ride the wave up. People are going to be calling. People are going to be looking for you. The same fucking people have back pain today that had it on March 11th. Yet you need to manage them better on the front end. Because here's the thing. The person with back pain on March 11th who still has it will find the right place and the right person. PT, maybe. Massage, maybe. Personal trainer, maybe. Chiro, maybe. Acupuncturist, maybe. Why will they choose you? And by the way, all those people I mentioned have videos of themselves cleaning their equipment and cleaning the space. It's not enough. You can't. That can't be your selling point. Nobody's buying that. It's part of the process. They buy that in conjunction with you meeting their wants. What is it they want to get back to? What's the process look like for them? Why are you the right choice? Write that down. Why will people choose me? And right below that, put why will they stay? If you can answer those two questions every day through your front desk, So after you answer those two, hand them out to the rest of the team. Give it to your front desk. And if you're not all giving the same answer, cool. You're taking the first step to get everybody bound together behind the same thing we're selling. If if you write down a different answer than your front desk than your providers, cool. Gather everybody up. Let's talk about what we're selling, why people arrive, and why they stay. Why they arrive, why they stay. Do that today. Sweet. Thanks all. Appreciate your time.